Hello all. In this video we are going to conduct transactions and we are going to transact SOL from two accounts, and we are going to involve two transfer instructions, and we are going to see how it looks on Solana Explorer, how two transactions would look, what would be logged, what would be shown on Solana Explorer, and we'll also be seeing how fees are deducted and how we could change it, and we are also going to see another explorer called Solana FM today. So let's just get on with it. Here's a quick look at Solana FM. This is how the main page looks, and this is Solana Explorer as we know. I'll just show you what the advantage of Solana FM is over Solana Explorer. So we just clicked on the latest block hash. Let us look at any random transaction. Let's see. Let's pick this one. It's a random pick from the latest slot. This is the transaction signature. Let's look at the same thing on FM. Here everything else looks normal, but this one, view TX flow. This is the feature that is the specialty of Solana FM. It shows diagrammatically how fees are transferred between different accounts. So this is what we are going to explore. Here on our in our file system, we can see there are 3 key pairs. So let's just console log all of them. On our index .ts, you can see we already have the code for console logging all of them. We are getting them via our get key pair method, and then we are just simply console logging them. Let's just do that. We are in the folder. So yarn ts node we can see the initials are 6, E and H. That's good enough for us. We'll just create one more terminal. Here we'll be running our Solana test validator from 0. So we'll do Solana SOLANA test Solana test validator -- our reset flag, and this will run it from 0. It has started. We'll create one more terminal, and here we'll be running all our commands. We'll have this one so that we can refer it whenever we wish to. Let's just and we'll be copying the key pairs from here, and we'll be checking Solana balances after we fund them. So control insert for copy. Let's just go here and do a cd. We are in the folder now, and now we'll be funding the wallets. So let's fund, as you can see here in the code. Here we can change the serial number, and we can fund whichever key pair we want. So let's fund 1. So we'll be running yarn ts -node helpers, because that is the folder they are in, and local wallet .ts. Since the Solana test validator is running, this is going to work, and this is going to fund the first key pair, because we have set the we have set the serial here to 1. So that is the key pair that it's going to get, and that is what it's going to fund. Let's just change the key pair value here so that we can fund the next one. Control S. Once this one is done, once we see the link, we are going to do it for the 2 and the 3, and then we are going to check their balances. Let's run it again. So we have funded key pair 1 and key pair 2. So let's just do Solana balance, and we had copied. Let's just do that again. We have this terminal, so we can copy any moment. Let's just do control insert for copy, go to our active terminal, and shift insert for paste, and check its balance. 10 SOL. Let's look at our code. Are we doing that? Yes, we are doing that. We are funding each wallet with 10 sols. So let's just let's go to the key pair terminal, copy, control insert for copy, active terminal. Let's go to Solana balance, Solana balance, shift insert. This is Keypair 2, let's see, 10 souls. Let's copy Keypair 3, which we have not yet funded, and it should give us 0 souls. Control insert, active terminal, Solana balance, shift insert, and expect a 0 soul, 0 soul. Let's just go here on our code, change this one to 3, Control S, come back to the active terminal, and what we are going to do is run helpers.localwallet.ts. It's going to fund it. Then we'll recheck the balance, and that too, all 3 of our key pairs should have been funded, and we should have a local balance of of exactly 10 souls. Let's check a Solana balance. We remember the initials. Let's see, 6 E and H. H is for key pair 3. Here, run it, and it has 10 souls. Now we'll be jumping on to our browser, and we'll be seeing things on Solana Explorer and Solana FM as well. Hello all. If you explore the Solana documentations page and the Ask AI feature, you could get a conceptual understanding of whatever you are trying to learn as a beginner. That is the best way of learning. Here you can see, I'll quickly scroll through 3 questions I asked. It's about who signs a transaction. You could repeat the same questions and see what it answers. You can check the documentation, and you can here I got an answer that it's the payer and any other account that is listed as is signer :true. So I just double check it, and it answers me yes, that is true. It gives me 2 points confirming that, and it says no additional cases explicitly documented, so I can be totally sure. And then I ask about the instruction that we are using, system program.transfer, and it tells us some things about it. It just confirms that is signer is set to true. So whether or not your account is the payer for the transaction, it must sign it, because is signer is set to true, and this is in the instruction, in the Rust or Anchor instruction, which we shall learn later. Here we are on the browser, and this is the transaction that happened latest, 506 slot number, and let's see, it funded our H wallet, that is the Keypair 3 with 10 souls. So let's just open this one. Here we are. I'll just put it here, right here. This one has 10 souls. Let's look at the others. This is the older status. I was exploring this one. Here, this one also has 2. We remember the initials E. E is Keypair 2. Here, this one also you see an older status. I'll just refresh and it will become 10. The balance is becoming 10 here, and we remember the initials 6. So Keypair 1, 6. The next tab, Keypair 2, E 10. Keypair 3, initials H, 10 souls. And here I'll just refresh Solana FM, and this transaction is not found. Let's just do one thing. Go to this, copy this transaction. This is the transaction that funded the Keypair 3 with 10 souls. Let's paste it here. It shows the same things, but it shows one more thing. It says view TX flow. Here the TX flow shows which account sent 10 souls to this. This is our account. The account that sent this is a random one, but it also happens to start with H, but that is not our concern currently. Now we will be transacting souls between Keypair 1 and Keypair 2, and we are going to see what happens. So as you can see here on VS Code, we are going to last time we used the simple transfer, and it had just one instruction, but this time we are going to do 2 transactions. Here you can see there are 2 instructions involved. One is transfer instruction from KP1, Keypair 1 to Keypair 2 of 0.1 soul, and the other one is a return from KP2 to KP1 of 0.01 Sol. So essentially Keypair 2 is sending 0.01 Sol to Keypair 1. The net transaction is this much, but we are going to see how things are going to play out. This is the transaction object, and here we are signing the transaction, and here we are sending KP1, KP2 because both of them are involved, and both of them are sending a Sol. So we need to provide both of them because both of them will need to be signers on the transaction. Let's go to our terminal. Let's do a yarn ts node and helpers slash transfer sol2.ts, transfer sol2.ts. Yeah, everything looks correct. It is saved, so let's just run it. We're going to get a link and we are going to go back to the browser. Here is the link. Control click. Here we are on the browser, clicking on the latest link. This is the transaction. Here you can see it happened on slot 1328, and the fees that was deducted was 0.00001, 4 zeros followed by a 1 after the decimal. And you can see this transaction happened between our Keypair 1 initial 6 and Keypair 2 initial E, and you can see the final state over here. It is 10.00999 and this one has 9.99. So this one, the second Keypair, lost a 0.01 Sol and the first Keypair gained a 0.01 Sol, but it also lost some fees, and that is why you can see its state is looking a certain way. Let's check the state directly on the accounts. Here you can see 10.99, 10.00999, 9.99. And let's do one thing. Let's copy the transaction hash from Solana Explorer and see how it looks on Solana FM and see the advantage that it shows. So Control V, and here this one shows the direction in which the transaction happened. So 0.1 from our Keypair 1 initials 6 to Keypair 2 initials E, and back transfer of 0.11, and you can see how the entire transaction looks. Now we'll go back and we'll look at the code and we'll see, we'll run the code again and we'll see what happens. We are back on VS Code. We'll run the code again. We remember the balances. We'll just check the balances again. Let's take a look at the key pairs. 6, E and H. We remember the initials. Let's do a Solana balance for Keypair 1. Solana balance for Keypair 2. Solana balance for Keypair 3. So there is 10.00999, 9.99 and 10. The third Keypair has not been touched. So let's just conduct the transfer sol2.ts again. We remember the balances. Let's see what happens. What we should see is the second key pair be deducted by 0.01. The first key pair deducted by added with 0.01. We have the link here, and but also deducted with the fees. So we should expect that the second key pair should have 9.98. Let's just click on the link. Back on the browser with the latest transaction, and we'll just scroll down and we can see the states. You can see it's 9.98 for the second key pair, 10.01998 for the first key pair. So what we essentially see is that it is the first key pair which keeps getting deducted for fees. And let's look at a few other things and we shall understand why that is. Here you can see the tag fee payer attached to the first key pair, and we can see signer and writable, which is also attached to the second key pair, and we know why it is signer and writable. The second key pair is signer because it is also conducting a transaction, it is also conducting a transfer, so it needs to provide its authority so that uh, the program can deduct souls from the account. So that is why it's signer. But why is the first one the fee payer? We shall look at the code and we shall explore that. So I'll just minimize this one. So let's look at the code and we shall understand why it's only the key pair 1 that becomes the fee payer. Here, while we provide the key pairs, we provide key pair 1 first and key pair 2 second. So the way this connection.send transaction works is that whichever key pair is provided first is by default assumed to be the payer for the transaction, and a transaction has one payer. It cannot be the transaction fees are not really split amongst both or how many number of accounts that are proposed that are provided, and that is how it is. So unfortunately the key pair 1 has to bear the fee payment cost even if there are 2, 3 or 4 transactions. So imagine if there are multiple transactions, then even then the first transaction, the first key pair that happens to be provided bears the brunt of it. So if I just change it, I make it key pair 1 and I make this one key pair 2. If I just change the order in which we provide it and we conduct the transaction again, this is going to change. So let's see. I have saved it. I'll just rerun the same code, and this time what we shall expect, if we remember the fees, the balance on the second key pair was 9.98, and it was regularly being deducted by 0.01 sol, because all it was being deducted by was the sol it was transferring, but no fee deduction was happening. So let's just use our Solana balance to check. Let's see Solana balance for the first key pair. We remember the initial 6 for the first. It's 10.02998, and let's see the second one, and we can see here that it's not a linear deduction this time. It went to 9.96999 this time, and we know the third one never got used, so it holds 10 souls. And we'll just go to our Solana Explorer and explore it again. Here we are on Solana Explorer. This is the latest transaction, and here you see the fee payer status has now gone to the second key pair. If you remember, I'll just zoom in a little bit. This is the one starting with E, the initials E is the second key pair. Zooming out, that has now gained the fee payer status. Everything else remains the same, but since this one has become the fee payer, the additional 0.01 fees has now been deducted from the second key pair. Let's just look at the status for our satisfaction. Here it's 9.9669. Now if we look at the transaction on Solana FM, it won't look any different, because Solana FM only shows the transaction and not the fees, deducted. TX flow, it looks exactly the same. Everything looks same. So now let's get back to the code and change the fee payer. We are on VS Code right now. I'll just minimize the terminal. Here you can see on line 27 there is a commented line. I'll just uncomment it. Here you can see transaction fee payer, and here you can explicitly set which account is going to be the fee payer for the transaction. So if I set it to 2, whether or not I provide it first, whether the order is KP1 and KP2, if I explicitly set it, then the order doesn't matter. But if I don't set it, then it's going to take the first one. So here, if I do it this way, then it's going to take KP2 as the transaction fee payer. But let's do one thing. We'll use our third account now to become our fee payer, so that Keypair 1 and Keypair 2 can conduct a simple transaction and they see their balances deducted according to the SOL they transferred, and no additional fees is deducted from them. So our Keypair 3 that until now had seen no change, it was constant at 10 sols, now is going to see the fee deduction. So we'll understand how much fee is deducted for a transaction, and we are going to see how Keypair 1 and Keypair 2 change. So I'll just save it, I'll go back, and we'll just run this code. Once we get the transaction, we are going to jump to the browser and we are going to see how it looks. And this time, since we have explicitly set the fee payer, let's see. Just a minute. Here we set the fee payer to KP2, so it's not going to do anything different. Let's just do one more thing. Let's just set it to KP3, and we are going to also provide this KP3, because if it is going to be a fee payer, it is also going to need to sign the transaction. So we'll need to conduct a transaction again. Transfer sol2.ts, running it again. Yeah, so if we click on this transaction and check it on browser, this one should show 3 accounts involved, and the third key pair should be the fee payer, and the other account should be just signer and writable. So control click, open. We are on the browser on the latest transaction, and we are at slot 3299. The fees are 0.000015 this time, because there are 3 accounts involved. And here we see the initials H, which was the initial for our KP3. The fee pair tag is now given to that, and there are signer and writable tags given to Keypair 1 and Keypair 2. And now let's see, you can see the states here, but let's do one thing first. Let's take this transaction signature and go to Solana FM. Let's see the TX flow here. The TX flow is exactly the same, because the TX flow does not show the fee pair. But let's go and see. Refresh the state. It is 10.04998. Here, this one is 9.94998, and here this is the third key pair, should be a little less than 10. So it is exactly 9.999985, which means the 0.000015 fee got deducted from this one. Let's do one thing. I'll just go to the terminal and quickly refund each of the accounts with 10 SOL each, and then we'll come and see how each transaction does. So what I'll essentially do is I'll stop the Solana test validator. I'll run it from 0 again with the reset flag, and then we'll just go to our active terminal, and we are going to run the local wallet first. Local wallet, yeah, we run the local wallet. It is set to 3, so it will fund the third wallet first. Let's just change it, control save it. Once it is done, we'll do it for the second and the first wallet. Each will be set to 10, and then we'll conduct the transaction. Local wallet, this is for 2, let's do it for 1, control S. Local wallet is done. Let's look at each key pair again. Key pair 1 starts with 6, key pair 2 E, key pair 3 H. Now we'll do a Solana balance here just for our confirmation. I'll just enlarge this. Solana balance for 6, that is key pair 1. Solana balance for E. Solana balance for H. So 10, 10, 10 each. Now we will be jumping to our browser. Here we are on our browser. We have the fresh states. I'll just refresh. Here we have 10 on 1, 10 on 2, 10 on 3, and now let's look at the code that we are going to run. It's the same 0.01 from KP1 to KP2, 0.11 to KP2, from KP2 to KP1, and the transaction fee pair is set to KP3, and we have provided all the key pairs. So what should essentially happen is KP1 should gain 0.01 Sol in each transaction. KP2 should lose 0.01 transaction in each 0.01 Sol in each transaction, and the fees should be deducted from KP3. So let's see how that turns out. We remember that it was 0.000015 sols of fee that were deducted last time. So let's run it. Let's run yarn ts-node helpers /s transfer .ts. Everything looks correct. So if we run it, then what should essentially happen is the Sol balances that we checked here should change in such a way that the fees are deducted from the key pair 3 only, and key pair 1 and key pair 2 should see a simple transaction. Okay, it's done. So we'll click and we'll jump to the browser. We are on the browser. This is the latest transaction on the newest run of the Solana test validator. So you can see the slot is 520. We'll just copy the hash. We'll go to Solana FM. Here we'll replace it on the URL itself. Do a control V, run. Let's check the TX flow. Very simple TX. There is just a transfer from 1 to 2, 0.1, 0.11 from 2 to 1. But let's see. Now let's check the state. The state is 10.01, which was not the case. We used to go to 10.00999 because the fees used to get deducted. Here we should see 9.99, 9.99, and here we should see 10 minus 0.000015. So let's refresh. It should be 9.99985. It is 9.999985. So this is what we this is what you get if you set a third account to be the fee payer. But we can see that the number of signers an account has, the more fees it has to pay. When we had just 2 signers, KP1 and KP2, the fees deducted was 0.00001, and in the previous videos we saw that it was 0.000005, so half of that. So for each key pair that signs a transaction, there is a 0.000005 fees, so it's just a multiple of that. So more signers, more fees. That's what. So that's all for this video, and in the next video we'll be exploring transactions that involve 3 accounts. We could actually do that in this video itself, since we have 3 key pairs and we are already using them. Here we are on our VS Code. We are on the same file, transfer sol 2. Let's do one thing. Let's involve multiple transfer instructions. So I'll do a control C here. So what I essentially added was 4 transactions. Let's just change KP1. We did KP2 to KP1. So let's do KP2 to KP3 and KP3 to KP1, and let's change the value. Let's make it 1 to 1 so that we can be very sure what exactly is happening. Let's make this one 1 5. So we'll know exactly which transaction went from whom to whom. Let's add one more, or let's change the actual values here. We just changes the comments, and 1 2 1, save it. Let's do a control V. We did a KP3 to KP1. Let's do a KP3 to KP2. KP3 escape to KP2, and let's change the value here to 3 0 3 and let's do one more. Copy this one. Let's do it from KP1 to KP3. So we have a bunch of transactions. Let's make this one 0 4 5. So 0 4 5, 0.0045, control S. Let's just format it correctly. So there are a bunch of transactions from each of the key pair to each other, and they are distinct amounts. So let's see. The object of interest in this transaction is the transaction flow on Solana FM. So let's see how it turns out to be. We have explicitly set the fee pair to KP3, so that is going to be the fee pair on Solana Explorer. So let's just make sure we saved it. Control S. Go to the terminal. Here, the balances, the current state of balances are not important for now because we're focusing on the transaction flow. Run it, wait for it, then click the link, go to the browser. Link is here, control click, open. Here we are on the latest transaction. The slot we are on is 1563, and this is the transaction. I'll just copy it, and let's first scroll down. 3 of the accounts are involved. The H initial account, that is KP3, is the fee payer. You can see the states here. That is not of our interest. Let's see what happens here. Because there were multiple instruction, system.program.transfer instruction, all of them are system.program.transfer. So the first one happens from 1 to 2, 6 to E. Let's go. second one happens from E to 1, so it's 0.11. You can see the amount here. Here the third one, system program transfer, the third one happens from E to H. Oh, sorry. The third one happens from E to H. It's 1 to 1, if you can remember. The fourth instruction is system program transfer. All of them are transfer. H to 6, so it is from the third key pair to the first key pair, and it's 0.15. And the fifth one is from the third key pair to the second key pair, 0.03. And the sixth one is from the first key pair 6 to the third key pair, and it's of value 0.0045. If you remember, that is what we coded. And here you can see 6 transaction logs. I'll just scroll down a little. So since we executed 6 instruction, there are 6 instructions shown, and there are 6 instructions logged. These are called program instruction logs. We'll learn what they are, why they are important, and how much compute they consume, etc, etc, etc. We have not talked about compute as of now, but I'm sure we can see computes here. Here you see compute units consumed 900 for this particular transaction, which involved 6 instructions. So we shall figure out what they are. I'll copy the signature. We'll go to transactions. We will copy it we'll paste it here on the URL. Control V, enter, and then we'll click on transaction flow, TX flow. Here you can see how each of the transaction happened. So there are 3 wallet accounts. This is, if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah. So there is 6, that is key pair 1. There is E, which is key pair 2. There is H, which is key pair 3. And you can see a bunch of transaction happening between each other. You can see there is no transaction that happened between key pair 1 and key pair 3, or did it? 3? This looks like, okay, this one actually happened between key pair 3 and key pair 1, but the line goes below it, so it appears like it merges here, but that is not the case. This 1 to 1 went from key pair 2 to key pair 3, 0.1 to 1, and 0.03 went from key pair 3 to key pair 2. And here you can see similar thing. You can see the arrow marks, you can see the values. Here you can see this was our first transaction that we did. So that is how it looks. So we'll end the video here. You saw Solana FM. Feel free to explore it yourself. You saw how fees are being charged, and how it's only just one account that is either explicitly declared, or the first key pair that is provided. That is how the default fee pair is set, and how fees are deducted. And you saw how, depending on the number of signers, the fees changes. So if there are 3 signers, then the fee changes. Here, as we can see, the fee is 0.000015, which is 3 times 0.00005 sols, which is the fee for a single signer. So we'll end the video here, and we'll see what we explore in the next video.